What if you held the secret to becoming an indelible presence in someone's thoughts, a figure so commanding and desirable that your image lingers in their mind with the persistence of the morning sun casting shadows through the leaves? This isn't just about attraction, it's about crafting a bond so deep that you become the echo in their thoughts, the whisper in their subconscious, compelling and unforgettable. In the quiet theater of the mind, where thoughts dance like shadows in the firelight, some figures loom larger than others. You are about to become one of those towering figures. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once remarked, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Your journey will leverage the alchemy of imagination to transmute casual interest into fervent desire and lasting captivation. This script, dominate their mind. Stoic power moves to become unforgettable and desired, isn't about simple tricks or fleeting influence. It is a masterclass in the art of mental and emotional influence, drawing on the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to forge connections that are not only deep, but also enduring. Imagine yourself as a sculptor, and every interaction with your significant other is a stroke of your chisel, intentionally shaping their perception until the very thought of you becomes a work of art in their mind. This process begins with understanding the Stoic practice of controlling one's perceptions to cultivate a powerful personal ethos. Marcus Aurelius, a paragon of Stoic wisdom, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Herein lies your first move, mastering your mind to influence theirs. To dominate their thoughts, you must first establish an aura of mystery and depth. Think of the moon's elusive beauty. It never reveals its dark side, keeping its secrets tightly guarded, compelling us to watch and wonder with each phase it passes through. Similarly, by revealing yourself slowly, intentionally, you create a compelling allure. Let each revelation about your personality be a phase that draws them in deeper, always leaving room for curiosity and anticipation. The fabric of obsession is woven not from grand gestures, but from subtle, repeated interactions that, over time, become the threads holding their emotional world together. Consider the power of a simple, focused gaze across a crowded room, akin to a lone lighthouse beam cutting through the fog of everyday distractions. This gaze, loaded with intent, signals to your partner that they are seen, valued, and desired, anchoring your presence in their psychic landscape. In implementing Stoic principles, focus on the concept of eudaimonia, a term that denotes a life of virtue. You must embody the virtues that are universally magnetic: integrity, courage, wisdom, and self-control. Each action guided by these virtues draws your partner not just to your personality, but to the profound quality of your character. This is where desire transitions into deeper respect and admiration, elements essential for a lasting obsession. Just as the day savors the cool retreat of night, creating a rhythm between your presence and absence can magnify your desirability. Epictetus, another Stoic sage, advised, "Prosperity is no foolproof to adversity." In the context of relationships, this means that the value of your presence is often heightened by the contrast of your absence. Create moments of closeness punctuated by periods where you step back, allowing them to feel the subtle void of your absence, compelling them to seek you out, driven by the growing need to experience your presence again. Consider the metaphor of an artist painting on the vast canvas of their memory. Each stroke you apply is a word, a touch, a shared smile, seemingly simple but laden with intent. Over time, these strokes blend into the portrait of you etched in their mind's eye, a portrait that becomes a cherished and irreplaceable masterpiece in their heart. As you embark on this journey to become unforgettable and desired, remember that true influence lies in subtlety and consistency. Your relationship is a garden in which you plant seeds of affection, water them with thoughtfulness, and cultivate them with patience. The result is a harvest of connection so deep and consuming that your absence feels like the sky without the moon. This path is not for the faint of heart, nor is it for those who seek mere superficial charm. It is for those who dare to tread the deeper waters of human connection, using Stoic wisdom as their compass. It is a commitment to not only dominate the landscape of their mind, but to enrich it, making yourself the cornerstone of their deepest thoughts and desires. Now, take a deep breath and prepare to step into this world of profound influence. Embrace the power of your mind and the strength of your presence, and let the journey of becoming an unforgettable force in their life begin. Affirmations are your personal declarations of intent, powerful tools that mold reality by reinforcing your deepest convictions and desires. They are the whispers of your potential, echoing back to you as tangible truths. Here's your affirmation: I am an irresistible presence in their thoughts. Please write this affirmation in the comments below to solidify your commitment to becoming unforgettable. It's a powerful step towards mastering the art of influence. If this content resonates with you, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We work tirelessly to create insightful content that empowers you, and your support helps us continue our mission. Join our community and be a part of this transformative journey. Number 1. Leverage the power of silence. Silence speaks volumes. Imagine for a moment you're standing beside someone you care deeply about, and there's a sudden silence between you. Not the uncomfortable, awkward silence, but the kind that feels full, heavy with meaning. A silence where words aren't necessary because your very presence speaks volumes. In relationships, this silence is an often overlooked weapon, a tool that, when wielded strategically, has the power to transform a connection. In a world where people are constantly searching for the next thing to say, the next phrase to utter, the person who can master the art of silence becomes an enigma, one whose presence is felt more deeply than any words could express. Silence can make you unforgettable. Silence can make you irresistible, and it can be the key to dominating your partner's mind. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Silence is a lesson learned through life's many struggles." In relationships, this lesson is crucial. Often we believe that to make an impact, we need to fill the air with words, to always be doing or saying something. But in truth, it's the moments when we choose not to speak, when we allow the quiet to settle in, that we can leave the deepest impression. Silence, when used intentionally, becomes a language of its own, one that communicates far more than words ever could. Think of the moon, suspended high in the night sky. It doesn't shout to be noticed. It doesn't demand attention or beg for admiration. Yet its quiet glow captivates us, pulls us in, and holds us in its thrall. The moon doesn't need to speak to be desired. It simply is. When you learn to embrace silence in your relationship, you step into the same quiet power. You stop chasing validation and start becoming the source of it. Your partner may not always know how to articulate what draws them to you, but they'll feel it, the power of your presence, your calm, your depth. When you embrace the power of silence, you're not withdrawing from the relationship, but rather enhancing it. Think about those moments when you and your partner share a quiet gaze, when words are unnecessary, because the emotions are already so raw, so understood. There's a kind of magnetism in that moment, a pull that happens without effort. This is the magic of silence, when it becomes a bridge between you and your partner, connecting you in a way that words never could. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Embracing silence is not an easy task. It requires immense control and awareness, especially in a relationship where the natural impulse might be to fill every gap with conversation, to always be doing in order to keep the connection alive. But the truth is, in those quiet moments, when you give space for your partner's thoughts and emotions to breathe, you open up the possibility for something deeper. You allow them to miss you, to long for your presence when you're not speaking, when you're not constantly performing for them. Silence also forces a deeper connection to occur because it removes the noise of the world. It allows both you and your partner to focus purely on each other's essence, on the feeling of being in the same room, in the same emotional space, without the distraction of words or external validation. It's during these silent moments that you can truly see each other. Think about how, in the heat of an argument or a difficult situation, simply sitting with your partner, offering your calm, can change the entire dynamic. You're no longer reacting with your words, but with your presence, and that presence can be a powerful force for emotional resolution. The beauty of silence lies in its ability to create emotional depth. It says, "I don't need to talk to show you I care. I don't need to fill the air with noise to be connected to you." This subtle mastery over your emotions and your environment makes you more desirable, more commanding, and more magnetic. It's not about withholding affection or becoming distant, but about offering your partner the gift of emotional space, letting them feel you without drowning them in conversation. In a relationship, silence should be used not to create distance, but to foster closeness. It becomes a tool of emotional control, allowing you to be fully present without the pressure to perform. When you can sit with your partner in silence and still communicate, still feel the connection, that is when you truly dominate their mind. They will begin to associate you with this profound sense of emotional fulfillment, an experience so deep that words cannot capture it. So, here's the challenge. Embrace the silence. In your relationship, let it fill the spaces between your conversations, your touches, your glances. Let it speak the words that are too powerful to be contained by mere language. By mastering the art of silence, you will become an irreplaceable force in your partner's life. They'll crave it, they'll need it, and ultimately, they will never forget you. Here is your affirmation. My presence speaks louder than my words. Write this affirmation in the comments below and begin practicing the art of silence today. Let your presence become the quiet force that captivates and dominates their mind. If this lesson resonated with you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to bring you more life-changing lessons that will help you become unforgettable in your relationships. Number 2, show them your dark side. Attract through vulnerability. What if I told you that the key to making someone fall deeply in love with you isn't in pretending to be perfect or always showing your best side, but in revealing the parts of yourself that are most vulnerable, the parts that scare you, the parts you try to hide? Think about it. Have you ever been more drawn to someone than when they allowed themselves to be real with you, flaws and all? There's something irresistibly magnetic about raw, unfiltered honesty. It's not your strength that makes you unforgettable, it's your willingness to show your weakness. In relationships, it's easy to fall into the trap of hiding your dark side. the parts of you that feel messy or imperfect. We tend to believe that being vulnerable will make us appear weak, or worse, undesirable. But, as the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The same could be said about your emotional life. If you withhold parts of yourself out of fear, you are wasting the most genuine form of connection you could have with your partner. Vulnerability isn't a sign of weakness. It's the deepest form of strength, because it takes courage to expose your true self to someone else. Think about it this way. Vulnerability in a relationship is like the moon. We see its full beauty only because it reveals its hidden face in time. The moon never shows us its dark side all at once. It takes us through phases, each one revealing something new and more complex. Likewise, your emotional landscape, when shared in phases, creates an ongoing journey that fascinates and captivates. Just as the moon's phases captivate our hearts, showing your dark side piece by piece will keep your partner intrigued, engaged, and, most importantly, emotionally invested in you. This isn't about dumping all your emotional baggage at once. It's about carefully allowing your partner to witness the layers beneath the surface. The truth is, when you show your vulnerability in a relationship, you give your partner the gift of authenticity. They no longer see a carefully curated image of perfection. They see the real you, and that's far more powerful. There's a magic that happens when you let down your walls and show the parts of yourself that you once feared might push someone away. Instead of running, your partner is more likely to lean in closer, drawn by your courage and your willingness to let them see the real you. This is where the true power lies. By sharing your fears, your imperfections, your deepest desires, you make the relationship more than just a surface-level connection. You make it raw, real, and unforgettable. It's precisely in these vulnerable moments that love deepens. Vulnerability invites intimacy because it communicates to your partner that you trust them, that you see them as someone who is worthy of your truest self. You show them that you are not afraid to be imperfect, and in turn, they will not be afraid to love you in all your complexities. Imagine a painter working on a masterpiece. If the artist only used light strokes, only showed the perfect colors, the painting would never feel alive. It would lack depth. But when the painter uses darker tones, shadows, and layers, the painting becomes rich and complex. The same is true for your relationship. The darker, more vulnerable parts of yourself are the layers that make your connection with your partner rich and meaningful. You're not just painting a picture of who you want to be, but who you really are. And that's what will make your partner see you as truly unforgettable. In a world where everyone is trying to perfect themselves and show only the best, the person who dares to be real, raw, and unfiltered stands out. It's not about being perfect. It's about being honest. The Stoics were never about denying your emotions, but about understanding them, confronting them, and mastering them. You must allow yourself to be vulnerable, not as a way to seek validation, but as a path to deeper emotional mastery and connection. So, stop hiding the parts of yourself you think might drive your partner away. Show them your shadows. Let them see the fears, the flaws, and the rawness that make you human. It is through this exposure, this raw honesty, that you become unforgettable. You don't need to be perfect to be desired. You need to be real, and that is the most powerful form of attraction. Remember, vulnerability is the key to unlocking an emotional connection so deep that your partner can't help but be drawn to you. They will respect you, admire you, and love you in ways that go beyond superficial attraction. Let them see you, all of you, and watch as your relationship transforms into something profound. Here is your affirmation. I attract love and desire through my vulnerability. Write this affirmation in the comments below to solidify your commitment to embracing your authentic self. Let this be the moment you step into your power of emotional honesty. If this content resonates with you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to create valuable, life-changing content that will help you master the art of deep emotional connection. Join us on this transformative journey. Number 3, become their emotional narcotic. Build addictive connection. What if you could become a source of emotional exhilaration for your partner, the very fix they crave, their emotional narcotic? Imagine a presence so magnetic, so emotionally potent, that your partner can't help but be drawn to you, day after day, craving your touch, your words, your energy. This isn't manipulation or superficial attraction. This is about becoming so emotionally captivating that your partner's mind and heart become addicted to the depth of your connection. It's about creating an emotional bond so potent they can't imagine life without you. To dominate their mind in a way that makes you unforgettable, you must understand the most powerful element of human connection: emotion. But not just any emotion, the emotion that ignites their deepest cravings and desires. If you can learn to make your presence the emotional high they chase, then you have unlocked a level of attraction so intense it transcends time and distance. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." What this speaks to is the power of authenticity. To become someone your partner is emotionally addicted to, you must be the source of fulfillment in their emotional life. Think of it as becoming their emotional anchor and their emotional escape all at once. Never forceful, but a quiet, ever-present force that satisfies a yearning deep within them. When you tap into this power, you stop being just another person in their life, and you become the essential part of their emotional world. They won't need to search for fulfillment elsewhere. They will find it in you. To create this addictive connection, consider the metaphor of a drug. Imagine that every interaction you have with your partner is like a carefully measured dose. At first, they don't need much. They're curious, intrigued, and slowly they begin to crave more. But you don't give them everything all at once. You leave them wanting, keep them coming back for more. Just like a drug, it's the timing of your emotional offerings that creates addiction. Your presence in their life should feel like a constant emotional high, but never one that's oversaturated or predictable. Each dose, each interaction should leave them wanting more, not just physically, but emotionally. Think about the moments that truly captivate your partner. It's the sudden, unexpected gestures of affection that catch them off guard. The silent moments when you're simply present and available, when your attention on them feels like the only thing that matters in the world. These seemingly small but intensely emotional moments are like building blocks of an addiction. You make them feel seen, heard, and, most importantly, desired. When you get this right, your partner's emotions start to revolve around you, not in an unhealthy, possessive way, but in a way that creates a deep, undeniable pull. The key to becoming their emotional narcotic is to master the art of presence and absence. This isn't about being constantly available. It's about being present in a way that makes them crave your emotional energy when you're not around. Think of how powerful it is when someone makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. You want more of that feeling. Now, imagine making your partner feel that way every time you interact. You've just created an emotional addiction, one that is tied directly to your energy, your presence, and your attention. The Stoic concept of eudaimonia, living a life of virtue and flourishing, can directly apply here. By embodying virtues like wisdom, integrity, and emotional control, you become someone who presents a balanced emotional world, a place where your partner can lose themselves in the depth of your connection, but also find themselves in your stability. You become someone they need, not just want, because you offer a sense of emotional fulfillment that no one else can. But this power isn't about draining them emotionally or demanding anything in return. It's about giving them the emotional fix they desire, but without making them feel dependent or trapped. Just like a substance, it should give them life and energy, never exhaustion. You become a wellspring of positive emotions, joy, confidence, connection, that fills their emotional space with vitality, making their life richer and more fulfilling when they're with you. Now, picture how it would feel to be that person. Imagine your partner thinking of you when they wake up, feeling the need to connect with you because of the emotional boost you give them. Your interactions leave them feeling whole, alive, and wanting more. They'll be addicted to the emotional highs you create in their life, not because you're playing games, but because your presence becomes essential to their emotional world. This kind of emotional bond is powerful. It's magnetic, captivating, and unforgettable. So ask yourself, are you ready to become the emotional narcotic your partner craves? Ready to be the fix they can't shake, the person they can't live without? It takes authenticity, emotional intelligence, and a willingness to deeply connect, but the rewards are profound. When you master this, you don't just create attraction, you create addiction, the kind that will keep you in their thoughts long after you've left their side. Here is your affirmation. I am the emotional high they crave. Write this affirmation in the comments below to solidify your commitment to becoming emotionally addictive in your relationship. If you found this content valuable, like the video and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to bring you life-changing lessons that will help you master the art of emotional influence and deepen your relationships. Number 4. Embody emotional intelligence. Control their emotional narrative. Imagine this. You walk into a room and the energy shifts, not because of anything you've said, but because you've subtly tuned into the emotional rhythm of the people around you. Your presence, your awareness, creates a silent current that guides the flow of emotions in the space. Now, picture that same power in your relationship, the ability to subtly guide and shape the emotional landscape of your partner's mind, to control the emotional narrative of your connection. This is the power of emotional intelligence, and in a relationship, it's the ultimate tool for becoming unforgettable and deeply desired. In the realm of relationships, most people focus on the surface-level things, the charm, the looks, the witty remarks, but the true power lies beneath, in understanding and influencing the emotional currents that flow between you and your partner. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This rings especially true in relationships where emotional reactions can make or break the connection. Mastering your own emotional responses, as well as attuning yourself to the emotional state of your partner, gives you the ability to guide the emotional flow between you two. You become the orchestrator, the one who sets the tone. Emotional intelligence is not about manipulating emotions or playing games. Rather, it's about cultivating an acute awareness of the emotional landscape, understanding how emotions drive behavior, and knowing how to navigate them with finesse. This is your emotional toolkit, where the ability to read a situation, listen deeply, and respond with clarity becomes your most powerful asset. In a relationship, This translates to knowing when to listen, when to comfort, when to challenge, and when to give space. It's about creating a dynamic where your partner feels seen, understood, and emotionally fulfilled. Think of your relationship as a delicate dance. Two people moving together in a rhythm that feels natural, fluid, and deeply connected. But what if one of you constantly stepped on the other's toes? The dance would fall apart. The connection would falter. Emotional intelligence in a relationship is like mastering that dance. It's about moving in harmony with your partner's emotional state, knowing when to lead, when to follow, and when to give them the space to shine. This doesn't come from reacting impulsively to their feelings, but from understanding the deeper currents that lie beneath every emotional response. When you learn to control your reactions and read their emotional cues, you create a connection that feels effortless and powerful. This power to shape emotions is not about being cold or distant. It's about being attuned and present. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If your partner feels that you are consistently in tune with their emotional world, that you can step into their mind and heart and understand them without judgment, they will begin to crave that connection. You become a source of emotional grounding for them, a steady anchor in the storm. This is the emotional safety net that makes you irresistible, the ability to create an environment where they feel safe, understood, and emotionally fulfilled. Let's consider a simple example. You and your partner have a disagreement. Your partner is upset, and the emotions are running high. Most people would react with defensiveness or withdrawal, but with emotional intelligence, you're not just reacting, you're choosing your response. You notice the subtle signs of stress in your partner's voice, the way their body language shifts. You pause, you breathe, and instead of letting your emotions take control, you ask, "I can see this is really important to you. Can we talk about what's going on?" In that moment, you're not just solving the problem, you're creating a deeper connection through emotional understanding. The beauty of emotional intelligence in relationships is that it creates magnetic attraction. People are drawn to those who make them feel safe, understood, and valued. When you consistently show up in this way, your partner begins to associate their emotional highs with you. Your presence becomes a source of comfort, support, and intimacy. This is how you create an emotional narrative that they control, but you guide. The result is an unshakable bond, one built on trust, mutual understanding, and a deep emotional connection that lasts. When you can read and control the emotional narrative in your relationship, you become unforgettable. You stop being just another person in their life and become the person who shapes their world. This level of emotional mastery isn't just about avoiding conflict or diffusing tension. It's about actively creating an environment where your partner's emotional needs are met in a way that no one else can replicate. You become indispensable, not because of grand gestures, but because you are the emotional constant they turn to in times of joy, fear, frustration, and everything in between. Now, repeat this affirmation. I am the emotional anchor that guides our connection. Write it in the comments below to affirm your commitment to mastering emotional intelligence and becoming an unforgettable force in your partner's life. If you found this lesson powerful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. We're working tirelessly to create life-changing content that empowers you in your relationships. Join us and let's continue this journey together. Number 5. Create emotional chaos. Master the push and pull. Ever notice how some people seem to pull you in, only to retreat just when you start to feel comfortable? It's almost magnetic, the way they create a dance of emotional tension that leaves you craving their next move. What if you could master this dance and use it to dominate your partner's mind, leaving them captivated and desiring more? This isn't about games or manipulation, but about creating a dynamic that is deeply compelling and full of life. It's about mastering the art of the push and pull, a technique that taps into the very essence of human emotion. Epictetus once said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about things." When it comes to relationships, the same principle applies. The emotional intensity you create isn't about the big moments. It's the judgments and interpretations that arise from the dance between closeness and distance. When you understand how to control that rhythm, you unlock a power that keeps your partner on their toes, constantly coming back for more. Just like a flame that flickers brightly, it's the alternating heat and cold, the consistent push and pull that makes the relationship feel alive. Think of a skilled artist, carefully painting with light and dark. They don't cover the canvas with constant color, but instead use contrast to draw attention and create depth. In relationships, this is exactly what the push and pull does. It creates depth, intrigue, and emotional complexity. Imagine you and your partner sharing an intimate moment, deeply connected, and then suddenly you step back. Not out of indifference, but with purpose. You create a space, a small void, that your partner is then compelled to fill. That moment of absence, where your partner feels your pull away, ignites something primal within them, the need to draw closer, to chase that connection again. The magic of the push and pull lies in the space between, the tension that builds when you give, and then withdraw just enough. Like the tide coming in and out, it creates an emotional rhythm that makes your partner feel more deeply connected to you, without being able to fully grasp why. This emotional chaos isn't destructive, it's energizing. It makes them desire you not just for the moments when you're together, but for the feelings that bubble up in between. The trick is knowing when to give them more and when to step back, creating emotional peaks and valleys that heighten desire and fuel connection. If you become too predictable, you become mundane. But when you manage the push and pull, you become a constant source of intrigue. So embrace this power. Become the emotional tide your partner can't resist. Let your presence burn bright, but your absence leave them yearning. Affirmation: I master the dance of desire, and they crave my every move. Write this affirmation in the comments below to cement your commitment to mastering the art of emotional push and pull. If this resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We're working tirelessly to bring you content that will transform your relationships, and your support helps us continue delivering these life-changing lessons. Number 6. Make them feel seen. Offer validation without expectation. What if the deepest longing in your partner's heart isn't to be loved, but simply to be seen? To be understood in a way that transcends mere surface-level interactions and taps into the core of who they are. In a world where we are often overlooked, the most powerful thing you can do in a relationship is offer the rare and transformative gift of genuine validation without expecting anything in return. When you make your partner feel truly seen, not as an object to fulfill your desires, but as a complete, whole individual, something incredible happens. You become unforgettable. The Stoics teach us that the greatest wealth is to live content with little, but that little can be the profound recognition of another's humanity. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." If you offer your partner the privilege of being loved for who they are and not for what they can do for you, you elevate the relationship to an entirely new plane. This isn't just about compliments or superficial praise. It's about deeply seeing them, acknowledging the quiet strengths and vulnerabilities that make them unique. Imagine your partner as an artist's canvas. Every moment with them is an opportunity to add brushstrokes that highlight their finest qualities. But the most powerful strokes aren't the grand, attention-grabbing ones. They're the subtle, delicate touches that reflect their true essence. When you see your partner's true self and affirm it, you create a bond that doesn't just survive, it thrives. Your validation acts as the mirror in which they see their own worth, and that reflection becomes something they can't unsee. Consider the example of a relationship in which one partner feels constantly overlooked, perhaps even unseen in the rush of everyday life. Over time, the emotional distance between them grows, but when the other partner pauses, takes a step back and says, "I see you. I see who you really are, and I'm here for that," the impact is profound. It's as if the fog that clouds their emotional landscape lifts, allowing them to feel truly known. This is the power of validation, not to change them, but to affirm what's already there. The most magnetic thing you can do in a relationship is to offer unconditional validation. Don't expect it to be reciprocated right away. Don't look for praise or acknowledgement in return. Simply be the mirror that reflects their best self. When they feel seen in this way, your presence becomes indispensable, your bond irreplaceable. Now, affirm this truth. I see them for who they truly are, and they feel valued by me. Write this in the comments below to commit to making your partner feel seen and deeply appreciated. If you found this lesson valuable, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We are working hard to bring you transformative lessons that can change your relationship and your life. Join us and be part of this powerful journey. Number 7. Leave them with no option but to want you. Be the source of their emotional fix. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have an almost magnetic pull on their partners? Why no matter what they do, their partner remains emotionally tethered to them, craving their presence and affection? What if you could become that force, an emotional fix that your partner cannot resist, the one they turn to when they feel lost, uncertain, or even simply in need of emotional fulfillment? Imagine being the one person who is essential to their happiness, the person who anchors them emotionally, making your presence something they cannot live without. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "True love is not a matter of desire, but a matter of necessity." What if you could embody this idea in your relationship, where your love and emotional presence become not just a desire, but an essential part of their mental and emotional world? The key to this lies in becoming the source of their emotional fix, the one person who has the ability to provide the comfort, strength, and validation they need, often when they need it most. When you become indispensable, you transcend fleeting attraction. You become the heartbeat of their world, someone whose absence would create a void they could never ignore. Think of a lighthouse standing firm in a storm, its light cutting through the darkness and guiding ships safely to shore. This is the emotional role you must embrace. In a relationship, you need to be the unshakable presence that your partner turns to when everything else feels uncertain or overwhelming. You don't simply react to their emotional needs. You anticipate them. You become a steady, unwavering presence in their life, someone whose understanding and affection become as vital as the air they breathe. This is no game of manipulation. It's about creating a bond that is so deeply rooted in emotional security and trust that their need for you is organic. When you fulfill this role, your partner will come to rely on you for their emotional grounding. They won't just want you, they'll need you in ways they can't even articulate. And when they realize this, you'll have made yourself unforgettable, not as an object of fleeting desire, but as an irreplaceable part of their emotional world. Now, repeat after me. I am the source of their emotional fix. Write this in the comments below to solidify your commitment to becoming an essential, unforgettable force in your partner's life. If you found this insight valuable,